In most African countries, our children are suffering from protein deficiency. And the deficiency is because they are eating less protein from meat or milk. The AI Shield technology is going to increase the number of calves born out of artificial insemination, which means the cows that carry better genetics than their mothers or their parents. We see the farmer benefiting by having a large number of calves born, better conception rates, and as more farmers adopt this technology, we are going to see the inseminators benefiting by growing their businesses to bigger proportions. As we use the AI Shield technology, we remember and thank the Global Good and Worthington Industries.
The canister's innovative thermal protection guards against temperature swings for improved sample viability, higher conception rates, and increased productivity.
For more details about the AI Shield and for us to increase its utilization, we would like to see more people adopting and distributing this technology. To do that, please visit the Worthington Industries website, www.worthingtonindustries.com.
The new innovation of the AIS 1.5 and AIS 3 artificial insemination refrigerators with the innovative AI Shield canister provide longer hold times for extended term storage at cryogenic temperatures with the durability and performance needed under the most rugged conditions to protect your samples. Rugged, lightweight ribbed aluminum exterior construction. Reliable, designed and constructed to stringent specification and the highest quality requirements. Secure. Innovative new canister protects from adverse temperature fluctuations when retrieving bull semen specimens. The following are factors to consider in computing the return on investment for the AI Shield. Business growth for the AI service provider due to farmer satisfaction on AI service delivery and increased adoption of the technology. Reduction in AI service per conception. Increased farmer saving per cow pregnancy. Reduced days open and related milk revenue loss. Improved beef and dairy industry competitiveness. The purpose of the container is to keep semen or embryo stored inside at very cold temperatures. When liquid nitrogen is added into the container, it will keep the inside temperature at negative 196 degrees centigrade or negative 320 degrees Fahrenheit. The inner tank is made of aluminum and it is suspended in the outer tank by the neck tube. The inner tank is designed to hold the canisters of semen or embryos and the liquid nitrogen. An index ring secures the canister at the top with a cover made of styrofoam, and an index spider secures the canister at the bottom. Before the inner tank is placed in the outer tank in the manufacturing, it is wrapped numerous times with aluminum foil or insulating paper to provide super insulation. The air is pumped out from the space between the two tanks, which results in a vacuum space. The vacuum construction can maintain the necessary 196 degrees centigrade in the inner tank as long as there is at least some liquid nitrogen present. The neck tube stopper is made up of high density material which insulates the liquid nitrogen and semen from the outside air, but it's not airtight. The outer tank is constructed from aluminum, which gives the tank durability without adding much weight. Before you begin working with liquid nitrogen, you should be familiar with the safety procedures. Liquid nitrogen is non-flammable, non-explosive, and non-toxic, but it can be dangerous if improperly handled. The best way to avoid injury is to remember to handle liquid nitrogen as carefully as you would boiling hot water. The best way to avoid injury is to use the proper protection equipment. Insulated or heavy leather gloves should always be worn when handling any object which has been in contact with the liquid nitrogen. Loose-fitting gloves are recommended so that they may be discarded quickly in the event that any liquid nitrogen pours onto them. Tight gloves should not be used. Eye protection is compulsory to protect you from splashes of liquid nitrogen. Pants without cuffs should be worn, as cuffs may collect liquid nitrogen that is spilled. It is also important that your pants are not tucked into boots, as the liquid could spill into this area. If you or someone you are working with is overexposed to liquid nitrogen, you should take the following steps. 1. Flush the infected area with warm water to reduce freezing. Water between the temperatures of 40 to 46 degrees centigrade should be used. 2. Loosen any clothing that may restrict circulation, belts, collars, etc. 3. Cover the area with a sterile protective clothing. 4. Do not apply heat. 5. Seek medical attention immediately. Due to the potential danger of liquid nitrogen, anybody using it should be properly trained. Following the simple procedures for monitoring the nitrogen level is the best and most economical semen protection insurance. Checking nitrogen is a simple procedure. Just remove the cover and immerse the centimeter Mar dipstick to the bottom of the tank for 8 to 10 seconds. Then, as you replace the cover, wave the dipstick in the air for a few seconds. Reading the lowest part of the first line will indicate how much nitrogen there is in the tank. A piece of straightened out black clothes hanger also works. You should record the level of nitrogen every week or so to monitor the amount of liquid nitrogen that evaporates, and if the product is valuable, then dip more often. If there are significant changes of the evaporation rate, you will want to check your tank more closely. You should always try to maintain at least 10 centimeters of liquid nitrogen as good insurance against possible service delays. Removing semen from the tank. The film straws are kept inside the canisters. The straws are placed in the goblets, which are stuck too high and attached to a key. The keys are then placed in the canister. Liquid nitrogen cools by slowly boiling off and releasing gas, and the damaged liquid nitrogen tank starts to sweat. When removing semen from your tank, you need to ensure that the time the semen is exposed to a higher temperature is limited. If semen is exposed too long, it will cause the death of the sperm and reproduction failure. The best way to protect your semen investment is to keep a good inventory of which semen is located in each canister and can. To remove semen, first locate the canister which contains the semen you need. Remove the cord and remove the handle out of the inventory for the canister you want. The hand should be brought directly across until it touches the neck tube, and then pull it directly upwards. The canisters should then be raised only as high as necessary to pick up the desired key. They should always be well below the top of the neck of the tank, as the seal is relatively warm. This diagram shows the range of temperatures that are found on the neck tube. The variance from the bottom of the neck tube to the top is 180 degrees centigrade. The lower you keep the canister when removing the semen, the cooler your other semen will remain. Generally, you should be able to retrieve the straw by keeping the straw at least 1.5 inches from the top. With plastic tweezers, lift the straw straight up and out of the goblet. Do not bend the straw as it could break. It is also very important to use plastic tweezers as opposed to metallic tweezers which conduct heat. Quickly place the straw in the stored water at the appropriate temperature of 35 to 37 degrees centigrade. Once the straws have been removed from the tank, it must be used or discarded. Never return semen into your tank. If the liquid nitrogen boils or emits vapor when you lower the canisters, you are holding it in the neck longer than you should. When transporting semen from one tank to another, the tanks should be placed next to each other to limit the time the semen is exposed to air. If necessary, a smaller tank should be used to transfer the semen from one container to another. The semen tanks require careful handling for the long-term survival and protection of your semen investment. While regularly checking the tank and regularly measuring the liquid nitrogen level, you should be able to identify the problem before any semen loss occurs. The warning signs of a vacuum failure are sudden loss of nitrogen. If you notice this sign, you should get a new tank immediately. To ensure your tank performs well for a long time, you need to select the proper location to store it. Clean, dry, and well-ventilated areas work best. The tank should be placed in a location where it could be seen daily to serve as a reminder to check the nitrogen level on a regular basis. This will also help you notice any frost on the tank or vandalism right away. The tank should also be stored out of reach of small children. Due to the potential dangers of liquid nitrogen, you should also use a padlock on the cover of your tank. The tank should not be placed on a concrete floor as it promotes corrosion and possible vacuum failure. You can protect your tank by placing it on board panels above the floor. To increase holding time, the tank should be kept in a cool place away from direct sunlight. The tank should also be kept clean. They should be wiped with cold water, detergent, and with a cold water rinse. Be careful to avoid splashing water on the neck tube and cork, as it could freeze, blocking the release of nitrogen gas. Whenever you lift the tank, be sure to use both hands, as it should be set down squarely and gently. The tank should not be scattered across the floor or drowned in a chair. All of these actions may cause the inner tank to separate from the outer tank, causing vacuum failure or complete loss of insulating properties. It is important to remember that the inner neck tube is particularly sensitive to shock. It supports the entire inner shell, the liquid nitrogen, the canisters, and the semen. It is for this reason that the tank should be handled carefully. When transporting the tank, it is always important to secure the container to prevent physical damage, accident, and nitrogen spillage. A driver should never travel with the unit inside a car, even in the trunk, due to asphyxiation. On a pickup truck, the tank should be placed in front of the truck spare. If the tank is properly handled and maintained, the life expectancy is 10 years. When storing semen, you want to be provided with the best insurance, and this only comes with the technology from the AI Shield. The AI Shield provides a solution for protecting frozen bull semen from adverse temperature fluctuations common in removing the canister from traditional cryogenic refrigerators.